Add source. Ah, there it is. Ooh, okay. All right. If you can hear me, hey, Step. If any of you can hear me on my microphone now, please say, thank God I can hear Matt. Step says, I just waved back like an idiot. Yeah, I'm getting used to this myself. It's a pretty strange feeling. All right. Ah, there it is. Ooh, okay. All right. If you can hear me, hey, Step. If any of you can hear me on my microphone now, please say. Okay, good. You can hear me. Great. I'm testing my other machine now. Step says I just waved back. Oh yeah. Okay, thank goodness. Ooh, that was a bit of a wipeout. Somehow lost my microphone. Okay, thanks everybody. I'll just start in just another minute. It's actually just before 7 o'clock, so whoo. That's great. So yeah, let me know if you're having any problems really seeing this video very well or hearing me. I can answer your chats right away, but there's about a 25-second delay between when I broadcast something and you see the video and hear my voice. But chats I can do right away. There's an echo. Okay, let me try to take care of that. Thank goodness. Ooh, that was a bit of a wipeout. I muted my other speakers. Okay. I'll just start in just another minute. Micro initiative. Thank you, Bruja. Audio is looping, so let me see what that problem may be. Seeing this video very well or hearing me, I can answer your chats right away, but there's about a 20. Okay, I switched off one version of desktop audio, and I believe that will have muted it. So let me know now if you've got an audio echo or if the audio is now okay. Great. Okay, fantastic. Okay. So yeah, if you saw that that doc on the screen, yeah, I think you must have seen the doc on the screen. I'm seeing it myself. Yeah, some of these things I can check just by looking at my own stream. I've got it going in a few places. Okay, I'm gonna turn off this since it'll run out of battery. Okay, well, thank you again so much, everybody, for putting up with all of these various teething pains. We all suffer together so that our actual players on the big day do not have to. I'm going to have the chat visible and have my script visible on the other side there. That's pretty good. It's really weird. I do feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm so used to like a Zoom conference where I can actually hear people respond. It feels very strange just to be talking as I am, but oh well. This must be the life of a lonely YouTube streamer. Just keep talking and assume that somebody's listening. Okay, great. So it's just a couple minutes after 7. If you've just joined us, the chat does have a 20-second delay. So if I'm looking at the chat, please use the chat window on the stream. So if you type something, you'll be able to see me answer as Rolling Rogue. So you can see some people are chatting already. So welcome Mark, Bruja, and Step. This is a brainstorming session, by the way. So Bruja, if you've wandered in here, you're welcome to stay. But this is something that I put on Meetup. Maybe that's how you found us. I've also told some of these friends one-on-one. And hey, Sharita. This is a way to work the kinks out before we do my big event, which is 2 weeks from tonight. Hello, Dylan. All right, my son Dylan Ford is on the chat as well. So it's great to see you all. Yeah, so I'm trying to work out the kinks on to make sure that everybody can see and hear me, which is good. I've already made a couple mistakes, which I've corrected. I'm going to be giving some instructions that I want to make very accessible to absolutely everybody. So I really want your honest feedback as we go about anything that you think would get in the way of total new players, absolute beginners who know nothing about D&D. All they know is to come to an event just like this one. This is basically a dry run for that event, which I'll be doing in exactly 2 weeks. It's terrifying. I'm sort of scared already. So right now you should be able to see me on the screen. I'm checking to see that my own stream is looking good. Yeah, looks all right. Cool. And I'll just start in just a few minutes because I don't want you who showed up on time to get delayed too much. I'll wait just a couple more minutes before I launch into it again. As you can see, I can chat right away. So I'm saying, so great to see you all. So I'm hitting enter, but you see that that happened in your universe. It happened 25 seconds ago. Bruja, you're saying I haven't played in years. I've never played online. It's just to get an idea of how it works. First time pronounced Bruja right. Wow. Okay, great. Lucky for me. Yeah, so Bruja, in exactly 2 weeks, I'll be doing this exact same thing. Come to the same address, the same kind of stream, of the same kind of title, and that will be the real event. This is going to be much rougher, and I'm going to sort of glance through it. You won't necessarily learn a lot how to play D&D because I'll be jumping around so much, but you're very welcome to see this all you want. And while you're at it, you can all subscribe to my stream because the more subscribers I get, YouTube will give me more powers, like the ability to have different kinds of videos and stuff. I'm not planning on making any money for advertising, so don't worry about that. If I do, it'll all go into the donation bucket. I see that Tom is online. Hi, very much. It's good to see you, Tom. So pretty much everybody here, apart from just one or two, is somebody I've actually played online with. Some of you, I'll just introduce you to each other, but you probably recognize each other's names from the pub thing that we just did, apart from Dylan. So Dylan is my boy, and he and I have been playing D&D since way back. Step and Mark and Sharita, who I all see in the chat here, are all people who have played D&D with me in the past. Mark has played for years and years. Step has played just for a few months, and Sharita is somewhere in the middle. She's played for about a year and a half now. So now I've introduced you all to each other. Okay. So reading the chat one more time. Tom also is like Sharita. He's played for a little bit more than a year. Okay, we're 5 minutes after, so let me go ahead and get started. All right, let me look at my script. I cannot believe this is such a crazy feeling. Okay. I'll do this more conversationally on the night. This will sound like I'm reading from a script, but I'll rehearse this a lot more. But I really want to sincerely say off script, thank you very much for helping me figure this out. This is really valuable. Again, I really just need your honest feedback. You can type it in chat. At the end, I'll go onto a Zoom call and we'll have an actual video conversation. I can't believe that that's what passes for real conversation now is on Zoom. It feels real compared to what I'm doing here. So I'll get onto that. We'll have a much more interactive conversation. But feel free to write notes in the chat here as you think of them because I'll go back through them. And I will try to answer anything you ask here. My goal here, I'll probably go pretty fast here and hopefully I won't leave anybody behind. On the actual night, which I do this 2 weeks from now, I'll make sure to stop and look at chat. And if anybody says, wait, I'm confused, I'll try to catch them up as best as possible. Okay. So I want to start off with talking about what are my goals for these online events. Let me just try changing to my slide. Okay, thank you for telling me my audio cut out. It turns out that every scene that I have to re-add the audio input. So let me go through and add that audio source. This is what messed me up last time. So I'll add my audio source to each of these views. So please give me a moment because I don't want to forget halfway through. Give me a mo. Okay, that one is now working. Hang on, let me do another one. Okay, thanks for your patience. I'm just doing this one more time maybe. Okay, I think I've got it all set. Okay, thank you so much for telling me that one. And it looks like you're entertaining each other in the chat. Yep, sometimes you skip backwards in the video. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think you can catch up, but you'll be 25 seconds. The best you can do is 25 seconds behind. I think your video's out of sync now, though. Maybe that one is just me. So Dylan, let me know if you've cleared that up now that I've added everything. But I'll do a bit of a sync. I'll type something into the chat. So I'll type, so I just typed the word ping, and hopefully 20 seconds, 25 seconds after that, you'll hear me talk. Okay. I'll wait for people to tell me whether they've got audio problems. So if you could just all confirm in chat that the audio is now okay, I will continue. Let me get to my script. Okay, great, fantastic. Thank you, Step and Dylan, for letting me know. Okay. So what cut out when I cut out my own microphone? So what are my goals for this? I want to go over the goals. I'm only going to tell you this. I'm not going to say it on the big night, but this will be good for you to understand what I'm after here. So one is just to get a lot more people playing D&D online. I think this is really good for isolation. I think D&D is fantastic in the best of times, but now that we're kind of in the worst of times, I want to give people an opportunity. You know, I've heard from a lot of people lately about how much they enjoy D&D, even though it's online. That really gives them a social outlet, something to look forward to. So I'm working backwards from that. How do I get more people to play online D&D in isolation? Well, I figured to do that, we need players and DMs, obviously, to do that, who aren't playing now. My mission to support that is absolute beginners. That's my niche. I realize people are at all levels. I want to make sure to get the most absolutist beginners at all, because I believe there's some people who are intimidated by the other options that they have to play in DM, and they just don't know where to start. Every place they go intimidates them. So I want to be as unintimidating as possible. So what did that lead to? So I figured I need to make this whole process as simple as possible. I still want to ignite a spark of joy at D&D. I don't want to dumb it down or water it down so much that they don't get what's sort of fun about D&D. I definitely need a spark, but just a spark. Then they'll move on to more sophisticated events, and those events can be done by other people, right? I'm just going to let them go, and then I'll move on to looking for more absolute beginners. I'm like the first rung on the ladder. I know they can find the second and third rung on their own, but I need them to get them on the first rung. Okay, so how do I do that? I want my tools and instructions to be simple as, like going to a YouTube stream, typing into a chat window. And I need you to tell me if you think I succeed at that, putting on your kind of newbie hat. If you're an absolute beginner and you know nothing about D&D, is this making sense to you as a player? First, I want to hook them into the idea of playing. So the first goal is not to teach them how to DM, it's to teach them how to play with an experienced DM. Okay. So you've seen an in-person version of my introduction to D&D. You've seen me do that in the big room at the precinct or whatever. And that was done with absolute beginner players. And in that, I get people to form groups of up to 5 people. You remember the ropes that they would tangle up together. And that was a great way to form little groups, even if people came there alone and didn't have friends. Some came with friends, some came alone. I got them into groups right away. The thing is, I don't think that I can get those groups formed online in real time. Getting strangers into new chat rooms and getting them to assign characters, I just don't predict that will work. And I think this isn't going to work. People aren't going to play online D&D until they get like at least one friend along with them. At least that's what I'm thinking. That's the subset that I'm going for. So I figure, well, I want to motivate people to find their friends and come to me with at least one friend that also wants to play, so they can bounce off of each other. You know, so it's not solo D&D. At least it's 2 players and a DM sort of D&D. Yeah, like Brujan says, yeah, the hook to get them started. That's right. We just need to get them going. So I figure my first step is to get a lot of newbies, potential newbie players, into an event like this. I want to show them how to be what I call adventure captains, right? So I say, I want you to be adventure captains. And what's an adventure captain? That means you're a player who goes out and finds a friend or more to join you, and you all form adventure teams. And then you come to me when you have your little adventure team together of 2 or more people, and I'll take it from there as your DM. And so I'm trying to get them into the pool one step at a time. So to pursue all of those goals, this event we're working on tonight is just that first event with those captains. So I'd be speaking this first event that happens 2 weeks from tonight at 7 o'clock. I'll advertise, I'll say, hey, if you want to learn how to play online D&D, come to this event. I won't really be telling them up front, by the way, this is the first of 2 events. This is just teaching you how to get a group together. But I figure if they come to this event, they might walk away and never come back and see me again, but at least they'll go to D&D Online, D&D Beyond, and they might at least have some taste, right? So I think I'm still doing a pretty good service with that. Sharita says, I have to say the people who come to Tom and my sessions have come alone. I think the D&D players are coming alone. Yeah, I do want to have an outlet for people who do come alone, and that's where maybe Tom, Sharita, and the others will come in. I'm actually going to have you be a shadow group that they can watch in an audience mode. So they at least can, as a solo player, they can watch a group play, that sort of experience. So if they do come solo, I want to catch them. But what I'm going to try, whether it works or not, is to motivate them to show up with at least one other person and they're in a little chat room together while they see my stream. Does that work? I don't know, but I'm going to give it a go. I'm not sure I can do it otherwise, because as you know, my big event that I do in the big room, it definitely involves multiple people huddling around the die and rolling and reacting to each other's rolls and getting excited and rooting for each other and being upset, you know, that a roll went badly. And I don't want to change that formula. First of all, it's a formula that works, and I've got to work with what works. So we'll see if this works. Yeah. Bruja says he'd go alone, but he's the only person that knows how to play D&D. Yes, true. So I want to accommodate as many people as possible, and we'll do it the best I can. All right, so who's the audience, right? I want you to look at it through the lens. Remember, this is total beginners. All they did is they saw a link from me that promised them how to teach how to play D&D online, and that link was this YouTube page. Then they saw maybe a video, I'll do a hype video that says, hey, come on this date, and I'll teach you how to play D&D. They'll see that video. They'll come at this time in 2 weeks, and then I'll just take it from there. So I'm going to run you through a bit of that script that I would give them, and you tell me if it makes any sense. This audience also is people, let's assume, pretend as you're evaluating this, you've never done an RPG before. You don't even really know what an RPG is. Maybe you haven't even seen Critical Role. Maybe you've seen it once or twice, but you've never played for sure. I also don't want to assume you have super high computer skills. Now, this will involve opening up multiple pages and things. There's hardly any way to avoid that, to have your character sheet and a die roller, but I don't want to assume they're great at computers. And this is the last part, is I expect most of them to have laptops. I know that some people may only have a mobile device. Maybe some of you right now have only a mobile device. I'm not sure this first time around I'm going to be all that good at accommodating, because on a mobile device you have to either look at the document or look at my stream or at the die roller. I'm not sure what it's like to tab around. Maybe it'll work, but I'm not sure about that. So I'm hoping at least people have laptops or something. So I really focus on getting to work with laptops, and then we'll see the best we can with mobile. Okay, last thing that I want to go for my goals and overall is, where do I want them to be by the end of this event? So the event that they'd be watching within like an hour, a couple hours basically. And this event will be shorter because I'm going to fast forward, but it'll be like within a couple hours. I want them to get the following. I want them to be interested in D&D. So I want them to have enough of a taste, like, okay, now at least I have some idea what D&D is, and now I'm motivated to come back. So it can't just be all mechanical, how to play the next event. I want them to be a bit excited about D&D itself. I want them to be confident that they can do the next steps of getting at least one friend to join them at the next event. I want them to feel like, yeah, I can do this. I can find a friend, and I can show up with that friend at this next event. So we'll see. And the last thing I want them to get by the end of this event, I want them to be clear on what they need to do next. Very clear, simple instructions. If I do bang, bang, and bang, I will be playing D&D with a friend of mine or more. All right, so that is my goal. First of all, I'm going to stop here and just wait for the requisite 30 seconds. If there's anything with chat, like you want to interrupt me right now and say, hey, I have something really important, I want to go back to what you said, or I think something there is a bad idea, or I didn't understand something, go ahead. Keeping in mind that what I've just given you, I won't say to the captains on the big night. This is just our inside speech as we're brainstorming. But yeah, you can ask questions right now. We'll wait a few seconds. And meanwhile, make sure that all of my things still have an audio capture. So let me just look one more time. Audio capture test, audio capture test, audio capture test. Okay, I think I'm good. All right, like I said, we've got that 20-second delay. Hopefully, one thing that I'll also ask you to do, no, I'll do that later. I don't want to interfere, so I know people might be typing right now. So I'll read out some questions, huh? So Mark says, yeah, we can do the clear things you want out of this section so I can write them down. Oh, can we do the clear things you want out of this section so I can write them down? Yeah. So I can paste that in. That's a good idea, Mark. All right, let me just do the audience and where I want them to get by the end of the event. I'll paste that in. These bullet points don't look very good. Forgive me. I don't think I have time to clean them up. Oh, it's too long. Hang on. Hang on. Can't do long chats, it turns out. Ah. And I'll be getting back to the chats that I'm flooding right now. Okay, let me go back. That was Dancer Mark on how to do it. Right, okay. Sounds fun. Finding games. Yeah, Mark says clear things you want. Okay, I've done that. Sharita Russell, does that mean that if a person comes alone, they can't participate? No, I want to encourage them to come, but I'll also say, oh, by the way, if you show up alone, it's okay. What they would do is they could still play with one character sheet. They can still roll dice. It's just that they will be, you know how I do in the event. Who's the strongest one in your party? Well, it's going to be them. Who's the smartest one in your party? That's going to be them again. Who's the one with the best bow shot? It's going to be them again. So it's not going to feel like it was in the group because they'll be always rolling the die and they have to be the hero. They don't get to hand off to other people. Oh dear. My whole screen glitched for a second. But if they do show up, I want to get them the idea where at least they can spectate maybe another group. So for example, I had Tom and Sharita, you know, on a Zoom chat that I set up, and they're pretending to be naive players. At least the total solo players can at least listen in on that debate. They might roll for themselves to see how they do, but they might sort of shadow another group. It's the best I can think of. Yeah, if that's a big problem, please let me know. I don't think that's going to work at all, and I'll have to think of another way around. But for this event, I'm hoping that people will show up. If they show up alone, they'll be okay. If they bring a friend, it'll be even better. Okay, that was Sharita's question. Thank you for that. Dylan, I think it's okay to ask people to come with a friend. Some people will still do it by themselves. That's probably fine, I think. Okay, thank you, Dylan. Bruja, I'm assuming D&D Beyond, Roll20, and Discord are basic minimums. Yeah, this is a great question. I want to go even more basic. I think that D20 and D&D Beyond and Discord are all a little bit higher than what many people can tolerate. So for my absolute minimum, and I think you can DM this way, I think that if you all get onto like a FaceTime chat where you have voice and video, or a WhatsApp or you know, Skype or something, and you have what I'm going to show you in this session, which is a Roll Dice with Friends shared web page, so you can actually roll dice, and you know, a lot of people don't have dice sitting around, obviously. And you have a DM that knows how to handle that and do it all as theater of the mind and do it all with words. I think that's enough. I've been playing D&D online like that just for the last couple months, and even though I do share the screen sometimes, so I do cheat in that regard, I think I could probably do it without sharing the screen. Step, for example, is in a group where I hardly ever share the screen, and if you've told me I couldn't share the screen, I could probably still have the same kind of session. So, Bruja, that to answer your question, I want to make sure we're absolute beginners. And my opinion, I could be wrong, is those things are still a little bit too high of a bar to get into, which is why I'm filling this niche. Dylan, how will they be communicating with each other? So I'm going to get into that here. As a captain, I'll ask you to first set up a chat group with the people you want to play with. So pull out your WhatsApp, MS Messenger, or whatever else. So I'll cover that in the script, and let me know if you think that I've explained that well. So I will cover that coming up, how they communicate. I've pasted in a bunch of stuff, which I'm scrolling past, and I don't see any other questions. So I will plunge ahead, but thank you for those questions. That all really helps, and I'll go back and be looking at this. Let me go back to my script. Okay, so now I'm talking still to you as brainstormers, but pretty soon I'll be pretending that you are these captains. So I want to ask you to pretend right from this point onward. I want you to pretend to be an adventure captain. Okay, let's pretend, you pretend that you saw my meetup event, or you saw a post on Facebook, or a friend forwarded a post to you, anything like that. And whatever that was, it led you to this YouTube stream. So it led you to this particular address, and you're watching, it said live video, and you clicked it, and you're seeing something very much like you're seeing now. So, of course, you're already on my YouTube stream, or else you couldn't hear this, so that part of the pretending should be easy. You're on a stream. And that is where a captain would be starting. Okay, so here I'm going to start addressing you as if you're captains, and I'll do this fast forward. I'll do it in a much slower, more friendly way. So the first thing I'll say, I'll be asking them, hey, after some chit-chat, you know, blah, 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 hey, nice to see you, I'll be chatting, thanks for coming. Hey, everybody, please make sure you read the description under this live stream. So this video has a description in YouTube, and I have some important links there. As you click those links, you'll go to a couple pages I want to send you to. Not many, but you will want to look at that description and click on the links when I ask you to. Just take a look at it for now. Make sure that you know what I'm talking about. You don't need to click it right yet. I will walk you through it a bit at a time. Chat, chat, chat. You know, do more talk, more maybe answering questions until it's about 5 minutes after. Okay. Then, and also keep in mind, before I finally move into full performance mode, remember you're totally new to D&D. You don't know anything at all about it. Okay, so now I'm going to move to my script, my actual script that I'll use. Okay. Yeah, so hi everyone, read the description of the live stream. I already said that. Please chat. So please, there's a chat window to the right side of that video. I really encourage you to chat. You can chit chat with other people there, and I will try to answer questions as we go. I will answer questions directly, or I might say that they'll be coming up in the upcoming stream. All right, so chat. Now let's say it's 5 minutes after the start time. Okay, all right. Thanks again for everybody for coming, and you're interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons. And what is D&D? Okay, blah, blah, blah. This is where I describe the basics of D&D. You know, my spiel here. It's interactive storytelling. You're a character. It's from first-person point of view. It's like Game of Thrones, like you're one of the characters. You're not in control. It's improv, blah, blah, blah. So I do that sort of basic description of what the hell is D&D, right? Because that's news to some people. Okay, next section. Okay, so now, for now, friends, you people, let's do a one-on-one form of D&D. All right, so you who are watching the stream, let's suppose you don't yet have any friends that are joining you as teammates, and that's fine, okay? We can still play D&D with you as a character in the story, and me as the author of the rest of the story. And you are called a player, and I am called a dungeon master, or DM for short. So that's my basic blah, 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 so setting the scene there. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do as we play D&D together, with you as player and me and DM, is dice. The game involves a lot of randomness because it takes the story in random directions. So I go blah, 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 I describe why the dice are important, and say, in order to do that, I'm gonna ask you to go to one of the links that is in the description of this video. It's called Roll Dice with Friends. So I want you to, I'll give you plenty of time, and if you get stuck, please tell me in chat. I won't move on, I won't leave anybody behind. But I want you to go down to the description of this video. You'll see something that has a section called How to Roll Dice with Friends. And I'm going to actually walk you through it here. So I'll show the screen myself, and I'll do all the same steps that I'm asking you to do. So it says open a browser to Roll Dice with Friends, and it has rolldicewithfriends.com. So this is what it looks like. There and there. And all right. So it looks like this as a room name. So right here, a room name that you think will be unique, because everybody who types in this name, this name just has to be unique. So say like my name is Sara, or your name is Sara, and you want to call the room Sarah's Brisbane's Mates. Okay, so Sarah's Brisbane Mates, but you would just type in a room all of your own, and I click this, Roll Dice with Friends. All right, so now I'm in the room, right? It says Sarah's Brisbane Mates. On this next page, there's a section here that says name, right? So if I'm the one who's doing this, if I'm the captain and I have all these mates, I would say my name is Sara. All right, so I've typed in the name Sara up there. The next step, as you can see in the description, is click this red round-looking die with a D20 on its top. So I've clicked it. Whoops, clicked the wrong one. I've clicked it. Now you see it's appeared in the dice tray down here. That red one has appeared down here. All right. Okay. Then next, I click the button that says roll it. All right. So I have a few people are in my room, I see, because they've literally typed in Sarah's Brisbane Mates. That's okay. It means you're in the room with me. That's okay. All right. So with roll it, you see it says Sara and it says total 12. I'm going to say roll it again. 12 twice in a row. That's sus. Roll it again. 5. So I'm just getting random numbers from 1 to 20. This is one of the hearts of D&D, is a random die rolling, because it steers the story one way or the other. All right. So what I'd like you to all do is follow these steps. I want you to form your own group. So you, as an adventure captain, you go to rolldicewithfriends.com and you type in some room name that's unique to you. So don't type in Sarah's Brisbane Mates, because then you'll be using my room. And I want you to go in there, and I want you to you want you to roll that D20, as it's called, a couple times. Roll that red 20 die and make sure you're seeing the numbers show up there. And I'll wait for a minute. I'll be looking at the chat to answer questions that you've got. And please let me know in chat if, hey, I'm stuck, don't move on, because I don't want anybody to fall behind. Dylan has got a question. My initial question relates to why you're called the Dungeon Master. Yeah, why, mention why when you introduce the term. Okay, great. You're right. Yeah, I think I've got to, it's a weird term. So you're right. I've got to pad that out a bit more so they don't think they're in some sort of weird fetish dungeon. That's good. Good idea. I'll make a note on my script for that. And all this chat is good. I'll be going back through that. So I'm just waiting to make sure that nobody is stuck. If you're stuck, please let me know. Pauses like this. Back to the brainstorming mode. I think pauses like this are sort of inevitable. I'm not sure how to fill up the time. I imagine I'd rather bore people that catch on because, you know, they can always tab to another window and check their messages or, you know, watch a bit of a YouTube video or something. It's hard to make sure I'm going to keep people's attention. I just don't want to leave anybody behind. So I want to hit that balance. How I do that, I'm not sure. Okay. So I've waited about 20, 25 seconds. I'll try to go back. I'll keep my eye on chat, but I'm assuming that nobody's completely lost because I haven't seen any chat about that. If so, don't be afraid to say so. I'll jump back a bit. So I've taught you a bit about rolling dice. So now when I say roll your die, you'll know where to go. Go to roll 20, that roll with friends, and hit the button. Okay, yeah, Mark, you hold your question till the end. That is fine. Okay. Yeah, please make notes to yourself. We could all discuss it on Zoom. It might be easier as well. All right, so the next section that I do is about character. All right, so the next step is to figure out what is your character in this story, because you as a player are pretending to be someone else. That someone else has different characteristics. You know, they have a role. It's like a script. And what kind of person are they? I'm basically going to give you a random character. So as the DM, I'm going to give you a random character to play. I'll show you how to do that. So in the description of this video, you see a, whoops, let me switch back to, okay. So pretend I should have switched back to this before. So again, in the description of this video, I want you to find another section which talks about making a character. Oops, I forgot to paste that in here. Pause on that. Sorry, normally I would do this properly. I didn't paste it here. Sorry. General notes, set up live event, text. I don't know how to do this. Description, okay. Pretend all that stuff didn't happen. So, I'm gonna run through those instructions in the description. And it says how to become a character and help your friends do it too. Let's ignore the friends part. Let's say you don't have friends to come with you. Okay, so step one is open a browser to this long link. By the way, Brainstormer is going to turn this into a tiny URL so it doesn't look quite so ugly. So I'm going to show you my screen as I do that, right? So I'm clicking a browser, and as I do, it turns into this page. This page here says brought to you by Rolling Rogues. That's me, or that's us. And this walks through how to pick a character as an adventure captain. Now, note for the brainstormers, most of these links don't work. I haven't made all the character sheets yet because I wanted to get feedback on what this one sample character sheet looks like. All right, so I'll just walk you through this. So yeah, you adventure captains, here's what you do. You become a character by finding your birth month on the table below. So let's scroll down. Let's say that your birth month is January or February. Mine's in February. Okay, so step one, you do that. Then you go across, read right across that row to see the link to your character sheet. So there I am in February. There it says character for captain. So I'm going to click that. Right? I'm going to open it up. And now you should be seeing what I'm seeing. It says noble character for D&D. It's a PDF. Again, I'm looking for feedback from your brainstormers that say, like, I don't know how to open PDFs. I'm assuming that this plugin works for people. God help us if we doesn't. I might have to create an image version or something, but I really hope the PDF works. Okay, back in character. All right, so I now see that this character that I've been assigned, or the character that you're looking at, you've been assigned, let's say is a noble. It says up in the upper here, and I'm going to box this in yellow so it's more obvious. It says noble. And it says fighter 1 human, like there's some other option. Yes, in D&D there is an option. You can be something besides human. You might be an elf or a dwarf or whatever else. And a bunch of numbers here, which I'm not going to have you worry about. I'm slimmed this down. So there's a much simpler character sheet than you might have seen before, because we want to make sure everybody does not get left behind. So there's a few basic things that I can see through here, and it's okay if you don't understand any of these things, right? I'll walk through what each of these things mean. The main thing I want to focus on is that you'll have different character sheets. You and your if you had a different birth month, it wouldn't say noble, it might say criminal. up here, and it would be blue. Maybe you've clicked on something that says Acolyte, and the border is purple. But they're all going to have the same basic idea where they have this picture of a shield and some numbers and stuff like that. So now you are looking at a character sheet. Mine is Noble because my birth month was February. But if my birth month was June, and of course brainstormers, this will all be filled out, I'd look across and I'd click the blah, I click this and look, I'm an Acolyte. So because my birth month was June, oh, I'm playing the Acolyte character. Okay, there's a glitch when you moved your mouse off the webpage onto the black background. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, that's ugly. Let's see if I switch back and forth to this, back to this. Huh, okay. I'll have to try to avoid that because that did look very ugly. Thank you, Dylan. All right. So now I've got a character sheet. So I'm going to say, you as a player, I want you to refer to your character sheet. While I'm here, I'll show you one thing that's of interest. Is right down here at the bottom, there's a section called Equipment. There's a little GP. I know it's very faint. I wish they'd make it darker. This GP says 25, because I'm a noble and I'm important. I've got 25 GP. That stands for gold pieces. So my character is not only a noble, but a rich noble. And let's say she, that can be whoever I like. I say she has 25 gold coins right now. Your character might be a criminal who has fewer gold coins because you've used them to buy some sort of equipment that you'll be revealing later. So that's one thing about your character I want you to look at for now, for this very first exercise, is your gold pieces, your GP. Okay, I've got my character sheet. I'm going to ignore the rest of this. The rest of this doc here talks about what to do with your friends. Let's not worry about your friends just now. We're playing one-on-one D&D, just you and me. Okay, so, pause on the brainstorm mode because I've got to get back to my part here. Start to pretend, Captain Script. Oh yeah, script, hang on. Script. Okay, all right. I'm going to share the screen again. All right, so I found the GP. We are going to tell a simple story with me as the DM and you as the player. You as that character, whoever you are, noble, criminal, acolyte, folk hero, soldier, whoever you are in a tavern, as D&D famously often starts, and you are playing dice against the bartender of that tavern. It's just you and him sitting at a stinky bar with a low ceiling, and each of you has got a die in your hand, your lucky die, and you are betting on the outcome. Now in this story that we're telling, you of course play your own character. You are the soldier, the acolyte, whoever you are, with your character sheet. I, being the DM, I can be any character, so I tell the rest of the story. I'm the one who described the tavern, for example. I'm going to describe the bartender. I might say this bartender has one eye, and I say this bartender has got some suspenders on, and this bartender has a button on that says, ask me blah blah. Anyway, brainstormers, I don't want to go into details, but you see, I'll be very charming right now, talk about how great the bartender is. So I'm going to play the part of the bartender, and you play your character. I want you, as a player right now, to decide how much you are going to bet on your next die roll. So you and the bartender are playing dice. You look at your gold pieces, and the bartender says, what you willing to bet on this roll? And I want you to write that down somewhere. Let's say you write down 2 gold pieces, or 5 gold pieces, or 1 gold piece. Write down some number of gold pieces that you're willing to bet before you roll this die. All right, so the bartender says, all right, let's each roll our dice and see what happens. And I've described that in a much nicer way. So I want you right now as a player to go over to that Dice with Friends and roll a D20. Again, roll that red D20 die on your Dice with Friends. And I will show you what I do on my side. So you have seen your own results, right? That thing that you just rolled, in the story, that's what your character rolled in this dice game against the bartender. And the higher that number was, the better. Now, I, as the DM, which is traditional, I don't look at what you rolled. If you're sitting at an actual table, I wouldn't walk over and see that you rolled a certain number. I trust you. You trust me not to cheat. I'm trusting you not to cheat. What's the point otherwise with this interactive story? Okay, so I'm going to roll a D20, and you'll have to take my word for it, but I will share the screen. I'm going to do the roll it. 14. Okay, so I say, all right, the bartender in this dice game rolled a 14 and says, what'd you get? All right. In the story, I want you to compare, right? Now you're helping me run this part of the story. If the number that you rolled is lower than what I rolled, your character now has less gold. You lose your wager. You wagered 2. I want you to write down somewhere, okay, I thought my character on the character sheet had 25 gold. Well, now it's got only 23 gold, okay? However, if you rolled the same number or higher, because the bartender is trying to get you to drink more, so the bartender gives you better odds. If you roll the same number or higher, you won that much gold. I want you to write down your new gold title, what it would total, whatever you got in the wager, you're now more. Anyway, brainstormers, I'm going too deep into this because I'm getting too far into it, but you can see how I'm doing. Okay. Dylan says, might not know the value of a gold piece. Some people might feel worried because they don't know what to lose this point, don't know how much to bet. That's a really good point. Okay, I'll work that in. I think I have a standard bit where I say, imagine that each gold piece is like a $20 bill, but you're an adventurer and you're actually fairly, you just had a couple adventures and you're feeling a little bit rich and you want to make more money. So I will explain how much a gold piece is. Good point. Okay. All right, I'm going to pause there for a second for more comments to come in because that's the end of that section where basically the goal is I've described gambling. Hopefully you think that you're confident people have successfully done their roll dice with friends. Hopefully you understood those directions, even though I've shortened them. And hopefully you're not completely lost by this point. So I'm waiting for any comments that come in. I'll wait a few seconds to gather myself again, take a drink of water. I really don't know how to deal with this lag. Not only is there a lag of 25 seconds before you even hear what I'm seeing, but also people take a long time to type. So I don't know. I don't think I can wait a minute between each section. I think it's too slow. I think I'll just have to jump back or find out some way to do chit chat in between. That's a tough one. I don't know how video streamers do it. I'll also have to learn. Okay. Keep an eye on the comments, but I don't want to waste people's time. I said this will only take an hour. I know I started a little late. Let's see. Tom thought Matt was that some players may be reluctant to commit gold without knowing the rules of the betting game beforehand. Okay. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. I'll say so. So if you roll high, you win the wager. Otherwise, it's great, and that's a sign that people are taking it seriously. It is amazing how seriously people take. I just gave them this character with a virtual number of gold, and both of your questions really pertain to that. So I think it's a very good point. I'm gonna send you a document, some notes after. It'll take a little bit too long each time. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'll just keep on moving. Okay. So here's my next section that I do as I narrate, and I'll keep an eye on the comments and jump back. All right, so I'll say, all right, now, if you find a DM to play with, like you found a DM to play with me, it's even more fun if you get at least one other person to come play with you, to come to the DM's table and play, so to speak. And let's say that you, as an adventure captain, you're the one that's going to take the lead, and you're going to get someone else to join you, at least one other person. So both of you will be players. And when you come back to my table and I'm your DM, your characters will be sitting in that tavern together in this story. Not your character sitting there alone with the barkeep. You and this other character, represented by your friend, are going to be in that bar together, right? I meant to say something earlier on, like if you lost, you might decide not to give the bartender the money and get into a fight. So, all right. So you're sitting there together. Yeah, most streamers just check the chat regularly. It seems really hard, but pausing is good. You definitely don't want to leave people behind anyways. Yeah, probably, again, risk people getting bored rather than moving on. What about having a moderator to help answer questions in the chat while you do the video feed? Oh, that's a really good idea. I'm hoping for volunteers on that, especially these first few times, so I would really appreciate that. I probably will have a shadow group in the intro event itself, but even during this captain's event, maybe I do need somebody to help moderate. That's a really good question. Thank you. So I'll be expecting me to be asking for volunteers. Good job. Okay, so let me go on to adding a team as a teammate. I've explained that you'll be sitting there together. And for now, let's pretend that the DM is me. All right, so here's what you'll do. You'll use a chat or some sort of conference app that can invite multiple people, that you can get many people to be typing to each other. So I would advise, a text chat thing like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or iMessage or something like that. Surely you've got a way to talk in chat with at least one friend. Now, if you want to go really advanced mode, you can set up something that has both a video and audio connection. So you can use Zoom, you can use Skype or FaceTime, that we can actually talk to each other, see each other's face. However, if you're in that advanced mode, of course, you need to both hear this stream that I, as the DM, am giving you on YouTube. That's one stream of audio. And you have to be able to hear and talk to your friends at the same time, right? And if you have more than one friend, you're going to have more than that. So whether you have two sets of speakers or speakers and headphones, I'll leave that to you. For now, just chat will do. You can type things out. Sharita says, look out for trolls. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm not sure how I think I'd be flattering myself to know that many people find out about this thing and meet up people. But you're right. I think having a moderator would help with trolls. Okay. So I've described the chat thing, blah, blah, blah. All right. So your next step is you get your friend into a chat with you on your app. So let's say you've done that. And in that chat, let's say you tell your friend how great and easy this event will be. You think this is great. You've been to this captain event. You found a great DM. You're going to send them a link to wherever the DM told you to go. And for now, let's say I'm your DM, and I say, hey, send yourself and your player friend to this stream at this address on YouTube at, say, Wednesday, the 27th of May at 7 p.m. So I, as the DM, saying, show up here and we'll play at this particular time in real time. And then at that point, you, the captain, you take a note of that. You'd send your friend a link to the character sheet, right? So you and your friend are talking about, let's play this thing, okay? Here's your character sheet, you would say. I've got my character sheet. You can share them with each other. It doesn't have to be a secret. And if you follow that document that I showed you, which I'll go back to, in the description of the video, let's go back to that thing. It shows you how to send a link to your friend that's got a different character than the character you're using. So you might be an acolyte and they're a criminal, or you're a soldier and they're a folk hero. So you have different characters sitting at that bar, and you'll discover you have different amounts of gold, and you have different in many other ways. So that video here, I don't know if I'll go, yeah, so I'll go to that now. So how do you send your friend that? Let's go back to my document here. Okay. So again, remember I told you before, you had the captain's birth month. So let's say that you're born in February, and you came over here and you saw the first thing is the character that you should be using is a noble, the one that I showed you. And then I come over here. Oh, wait, I forgot to change this. It's not supposed to be soonest birth. This is too complicated. It's more like this, blah, blah, blah. So, two friends, right. All I'm going to say is, so send the first link here to one of your friends that you want to join you. Just pick the first thing. So, okay, pick a random, so pick your random friend. You only have one other friend. Take the top of the list. So you send them the link for Soldier. And Brainstormers, this would actually be a live link. All these would be live links. I just didn't do it yet. So you'd have Soldier. So I, as the adventure captain, have Noble. I've sent a link to Soldier. So let me pretend to do that. See, I've done this. I've opened it up, so I see the Soldier thing here. I go up here, and I copy it, this URL, and I send it in chat to my friend. So now my friend is looking at their character sheet, and I'm looking at mine. That is how that happens. Okay. So I've sent my friend, so you've sent your friend a link to the character sheet, the way I showed you. And let's say now it's 2 weeks later, all right? Because that's all you need to do. You've set that up. Now you show up whenever and wherever the DM told you to. And let's just fast forward. Let's go forward to that time right now. 2 weeks. Okay, poof, here we are. It's 2 weeks later. It's Wednesday, 27th of May at 7 p.m. You have got, you're chatting with your friend. You're saying, oh my God, it's 7 o'clock. Let's go over to the YouTube stream. Okay, you're both on the YouTube stream. You're still chatting to each other. You both pull up that character sheet that you'd sent each other before, and you're ready. You and your friend are in a chat group, typing away. You're both looking at the DM, me, right? And the rest is going to take care of itself. So basically, you're done at that point. Because me, as the DM, I will tell you everything to do from that point, step by step. I'll go as slowly as possible. And if anybody is left behind, I'll keep you caught up. Now what I'll do is I'll give you a preview of what that looks like now. I want you to be confident that you're in for a good evening, so I'll give you a couple sneak peeks of what it's like, to do that. Okay, so Brainstormers, I know it's 10 minutes to 8, and I'm a little bit behind here, but I will glance over the other things so I can go faster from this point forward. So the next thing I talk about is, so here's what it'll be like with you and your friend playing with me as a DM. Let's use gambling as an example, right? All that stuff that I did was you and me as the bartender, you as your character gambling. Well, you can imagine your friend is also using that Dice with Friends app, right? If you follow those instructions that I showed you in the description, you sent your friend that link. They can roll dice, and you can roll dice. You both are rolling dice at the same time and seeing what each other's rolls are. And again, I as the DM might say, okay, this is going to be a 3-way contest. And who's going to wager? And you put up an ante and all that stuff. Whoever wins is the one who gets all of that gold, and it might have the same sort of thing. And of course, if this were real D&D, you might lose that, and you and your friend in these characters as the criminal and the soldier might look at each other and say, no way, man, we're not going to give this bartender that money. We think the bartender's cheating. We're going to refuse to pay the bartender. And then I, as the DM, would say, oh, the bartender pulls a club out from behind the bar and is going to start wailing on you, and the story goes on from there. But let's skip past that part, right? So the intro. When you're playing, things like that can happen. because you're both rolling dice and the dice come up with the random results. So there are times where, okay, let's say I'm the DM and you got the 2 players in your chat group. At times I'll say something like this. All right, who in your group has the character with the best something? Like I might say, who has the most gold pieces? Okay, so you'll hear me say that as the DM. You and your friend will chat to each other in that chat app. And you'll say, how many gold pieces do you have? Well, I have this many. How many do you have? So you should look at your character sheets to figure that out. Like I've told you, on that character sheet, you've got GP at the bottom. So you do that, you figure who has the most. Then I, as the DM, would say, okay, yeah, you whoever has the most gold pieces, you're the one who now catches the eye of this shady-looking woman. She's in a long fur cloak, and she's been kind of hiding in a dark part of the bar. And she sees the weight of your coin purse, you who have the most money. And she comes up to you. She offers to gamble with you. Just you. Okay, so as the DM, I'm describing more of the story. You can see the story goes either way, right? You and your friend playing these 2 characters. Either you or your friend are going to be the one to gamble next to the shady woman. And whoever's not gambling, that's you or your friend, right, also, will be watching from the other end of the bar as that happens. And the story continues. What if the woman wins? What if she loses? What if she seems to be cheating? You know, what if she's just tried to get you alone? All these different things. The story can go anywhere, and the dice will keep getting rolled, and the story evolves. So that is the kind of thing that we do, me as the DM, and having more than one person, each one contributing in their own way. So, okay, again, fast forwarding as the brainstormer. So, of course, I'll flesh that out more, but you get the idea. Say, okay, now I'm going to lay one more thing on you. You can expand your group to invite even more friends. It's great. If you bring one friend, I mean, if you show up alone, that's fine. You know, so please, if you and I are, if I'm your DM and you show up alone, we'll still play. Don't worry. But if you invite even more friends, it'll be even more fun. You can invite up to 4 other friends to a typical D&D game. And that's about how much a DM can probably handle. 5 people around the table is plenty. So what you do, if you were, again, the adventure captain, so each one of those friends, let's say you have 3 friends that you want to invite besides yourself, right? Again, if you look at that sheet that I showed you, whoops, I should have switched back to this a while ago so you can see my face. So in this sheet that I showed you, you see I've got a list. So your first friend is soldier. The next friend you would send the acolyte sheet. The next friend you would send, I know it's the noble sheet, it should be criminal. And the next one you would send the folk hero sheet. So you see that each of those friends, up to 4 other friends, and they're all different characters. And that makes the story even more interesting. So I invite you to, as you're looking online D&D, finding a friend is great, that's plenty. But if you find a good DM who's willing to take a few players, find even a few more friends. The more the better. Each one is a different character sheet. I've described how to do that. Yeah. Now, I'm near the end here for those of you who are looking at the time. Okay. So far, we've pretended that I am the DM. And now, I ask, you need to find a DM online, right? Maybe you're excited. Maybe you're a little bit interested in D&D, okay? And let's say, okay, great. Matt, you're not sitting here with me, or I don't even know your email address. How can you be my DM? I need to find DM online myself. Or I might need to become a DM. Now, you might already know enough about how to do this, or maybe you'll just go find a D&D group online. You can search for D&D groups online. At least you have a little taste of it. In the description under this video, there's a link to dnd.wizards.com, and they are the people who make this game, and they have all kinds of free stuff that you can do. So this could be the last video from me you ever see. You go off and play with friends. But I'm betting that all seems a little bit too big. Whoops, I keep forgetting to switch back. So I'm betting that all seems a little bit too big for you to take on, and I want to make this as easy for you as possible. So where do you start? And I have some good news. I can be your DM for just a little while longer, all right? Here's how we're going to do it. I want you to find 1 or more friends, just as I've described. I want you to come back to this stream for another event in exactly 2 weeks. So in that event, we will play a very basic form of D&D together. I'll be your DM, you and your friends will be the players. I'm going to call that event Introduction to D&D, and it'll be right here on the stream. So at that event, you as the adventure captain, you'll bring your team of friends with you. You arrange the friends. You'll get into that chat group together, just like I explained. You'll have the character sheets all done. That's easy. You can do this. You'll come here to this stream at 7 p.m. Brisbane time in 2 weeks. And soon I'll post a video on this channel advertising that event. But now you know everything you need to do. So here's what to do next, okay? You can rewatch this video anytime. This is going to be in the archive, so if you missed something, you can go ahead and rewatch this video to make sure you got my instructions right. Take a look at the links in the description of the video. follow those directions I just told you in the video. Get at least one friend or more to join you in a chat app. If you don't, if you just show up alone, that's cool, right? But it'll be more fun if you get one friend. Maybe you're in isolation with one person in the house. You want to grab somebody in the house that's just sitting there next to you. You can be at the same computer. That's fine as well. Come back here on Wednesday, the 27th of May at 7 p.m. Brainstormers, keep in mind that the captain event is going to be in 2 weeks, so that's 2 weeks hence. So as they hear this, this will be 2 weeks hence. 27th of May at 7 p.m. And the time zone is Brisbane, Australia. All right, last thing that I say before I say goodbye for now and see you in 2 weeks, please subscribe to the stream, blah, blah, blah. I'll explain why. Click the subscribe button. I thank you very much. Thanks very much. I really hope you play D&D. I really hope you've learned at least a little something you're excited about going on. And I can't wait to see you. And then I might do an after chat. I might say, hey, all of you here, take a look at the chat room. Here's a Zoom link that they can join, and I can answer some random questions. So I'll probably advertise a Zoom link unless I feel like I'm going to get Zoom bombed too badly. Okay, that's it, everybody, for the brainstorm. Whew, okay. Oh, that is a head rush. So you probably have a bunch of comments. If you need to go, of course, you can send me chat later on, but I will start up a Zoom link in just a moment here, and let's talk about how that went and what you think that'll do. So you don't have to keep watching this stream. I'll probably shut the stream down after I send the Zoom link, but I will do a Zoom link now. Oh my goodness. How video streamers do it, I don't know. That's exhausting. I hear they have to work like... It's supposed to be insane being a streamer. I think you really have to seriously work like 80-hour weeks to get anywhere. You have to post new content so often. It's just supposed to be maddening. And you can make some money, but you have to work... I think you have to work for months and months with 0 viewers. Like on Twitch, they say you go months and months and months and there are exactly 0 people watching, but you have to keep talking, keep performing. Isn't that crazy? Okay, I think I've got all that. Let me make sure that nobody can Zoom bomb me too badly if they show up. That's good. Participants, I'm going to send you a link. Invite, copy URL. Okay, in the chat room. Okay, trolls, have at it. Okay, and I'm going to join also. I do have ways to kick people out of Zoom rooms if they're too bad, I think. Yet another thing that can go terribly wrong, which I'm going to have to do. Let me get on my laptop. Oh, come on. Transfer. And I'll turn off the stream quite soon. Just getting the Zoom link going here. My brain is mush. Whew, okay. Hey, we got some people. Hey, everybody. Hello, you can hear me and see me? All right. I see Step, I see Tom. Oh, I see Mark. Oh, great. Here, let me turn off the stream. Let me turn off the stream. Wow, what a head rush. I'm using a bunch